greatest battlefield is not out there in the world. It's not in the boardrooms or on the front lines. It's not in the economy. It's not in the politics. The real war is fought in silence, between your ears, behind your ribs. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Not feels, thinks. Because the heart is not just a vessel of emotion, it is the wellspring of direction. It does not merely beat blood, it beats belief. And every action you take, every word you speak, every destiny you shape, flows from that unseen reservoir. So the warning echoes through time. Guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. Not some things, all things. Your focus, your fears, your faith, your future, all rooted in the condition of your heart. This is why the battle is so fierce. Because if your enemy can take your heart, they don't need your hands. If they can poison your perception, they don't have to chain your body. They've already caged your mind. The battleground is littered with fallen dreams, not because they weren't good enough, but because they weren't guarded enough. A heart left unguarded becomes a target. And in this world, the attacks are subtle. They come in the form of distractions that masquerade as entertainment, doubt disguised as logic, comparison dressed up as inspiration. And slowly, like water against stone, your inner clarity erodes. You stop trusting your voice. You start outsourcing your value. You begin to think more about being liked than being right with your purpose. That's how the drift begins. Not with a bang, but with a whisper. A small compromise, a subtle lie, a quiet lowering of the bar. And before you know it, the vision gets blurry. The fire flickers, and you're moving, but going nowhere that matters. Because without a guarded heart, even the strongest mind can be manipulated. Think of it. How many men have conquered nations, only to be conquered by insecurity? How many women have touched glory, only to be crushed by comparison? How many talents have died on the altar of self-doubt? The world remembers the victories, but history is haunted by the tragedies that came from within. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, but he didn't guard his idea, he guarded his belief. He didn't just protect his work, he protected his mindset. Martin Luther King Jr. marched with power, not because he had an army, but because he had conviction. And conviction is born in the heart, not the headlines. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in a prison cell. They could chain his body, but they couldn't touch his soul. Why? Because he understood. True freedom begins within. This is not romantic philosophy. This is wartime strategy for anyone building something that lasts. You want clarity? Guard your heart. You want peace? Guard your heart. You want vision that endures? Guard your heart, because what you tolerate in your thoughts will multiply in your life. This is not a game. This is not theory. This is your mental economy. And every thought you allow is an investment or a withdrawal. Gratitude deposits strength. Envy withdraws it. Focus multiplies energy. Distraction drains it. Love expands capacity. Bitterness shrinks it. So if you are serious about becoming who you were born to be, you must become a gatekeeper. Not to keep the world out, but to keep your spirit centered. You cannot control the storm, but you can fortify your house. You cannot mute every voice, but you can choose who gets access to your inner court. Because what enters you eventually exits through you. This is why discipline matters, not because it makes you rigid, but because it makes you ready. Discipline is the sword that guards your gates. It is how you protect your morning from chaos, how you protect your energy from leeches, how you protect your calling from compromise. You don't need to control everything, just control access. Control what you feed your mind. Control what you say when you talk to yourself. Control the stories you rehearse, the patterns you repeat, the voices you allow to echo. Because repetition is the language of belief. And what you repeat, you will eventually receive. Do not speak death over your dream. Do not call yourself small when you were built for mountains. Do not entertain doubt like it's a guest. It's a thief. You owe yourself a heart that believes again. A mind that is governed by vision, not fear. A soul rooted in something deeper than approval. Guard your heart like your future depends on it, because it does. When the battle gets loud, go quiet. When the noise gets thick, return to truth. And when your soul grows tired, remember who you are. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your setbacks. You are the gatekeeper, the architect, the watchman on the wall. You were born to govern territory, starting with your own soul. This is not self-help. This is self-mastery. And the greatest empires are always ruled from within. Guard your heart. Sharpen your thoughts. Move with fire. The world is loud, but truth whispers, so listen and protect the flame. Because when your heart is guarded, your mind is clear. And when your mind is clear, your actions are aligned. And when your actions are aligned, nothing can stop you.